I'm live. Good evening. Ah, oh, good evening. There's quite a bit of a delay on this. Good evening. My name is James. There's absolutely nobody watching this, so I'm broadcasting out into a vacuum. But these videos are saved by YouTube, so there's sort of lots of things are related to things. So Lyme disease. If you think you've got Lyme disease, enjoy it. Yes, basically, um, I'm in England. We've got the wonderful national health system, um, which was come out of the Second World War. Um, the only thing I'd say for it regarding things like systemic illnesses, Lyme disease, and things like that, is just totally unprepared to deal with. And I think, oh, and I think the truth of the matter is if you have something like chronic Lyme, um, I think everything is there isn't really. There's all these amazing cures and all this wonderful sort of like stuff online that people are selling you and everything like that. That will guarantee how to you can eat yourself well, you can eat yourself well. You can you can look after yourself. You can make your life a little bit better. But I am 7, 8 years into this. Um, I've tried really heavy pulsing antibiotics back a few years ago. Um, Nothing seems to actually sort of like kill the buggers. I mean, what you have is this spirochete, this little bacteria thing, millions of them, millions of little bastards living inside of you. Yes, and they get into your brain, they get into your arms, they get into your muscles, they get into your organs, and they get everywhere around you. And they have their little lives, and their little lives are about around about weeks, I think. So every 4 weeks you get a die off, and you get a load of new young ones being born or whatever. And during that period of time, you feel like utter shit. The die off time, right? It's a Jarix-Herxheimer reaction or something like that. Is what they call it. Cytokine cascade. God, I've learned so much stuff about all this, right? But it means it just really, really hits you. Um, Different people, every different person has different um, ailments that come with this disease. Some people lose the ability to walk. Some people can't even, some people spasm and fit. I mean, if it gets into certain parts of your brain, and it can cause fits and spasms. If it gets, into sort of like another part, I think it's the, the stuff that gets in the ear that causes all the big trouble on the physical things. Like, because I think you can start affecting your motor senses and everything like that. I was told ages ago by doctors and things like that I was suffering from what they call demyelification, or myelination. Your nerve has a sort of like an insulation over it, your nerve, and the nerves. Once the insulation starts breaking down, you start getting wrong signals. Hence, like my feet, if I touch something, it feels I get pain. Like, if bare feet. I used to walk around bare feet all the time. I love being my feet being bare. But now they're constantly permanently bloody cold, even in the hot weather. And if I go out, I did wear some sandals this summer during the really hot weather. But if I touch my toes or anything like that when I was out, oh god, that was a shock of pain. Things like that. These sort of things you can live with. You can cope with. It's the fatigue and the utter mental and physical exhaustion that you just cannot find a way around. And I'm just coming out of about 4 weeks now because um, one of the things that it buggers up is your digestive system, right? And It really does bad. I don't know why it plays absolute havoc with it. So I can't eat bread and wheat or anything like that. I can't eat dairy products. Not that I could ever eat dairy products, to be quite honest. Dairy products is seems to be a bit. Both my sister and myself are completely allergic to dairy products for whatever reason. It must be some particular diet when we were kids or something like that. I don't know. But it both has exactly the same effect on us. Basically, cold, flu-like symptoms. My eyesight goes, I get a brain swelling and it goes onto the optic nerve, and I can't see, which is a bit of a bugger actually, because it can happen like it did once when I was first sort of like become aware of it when I was driving a car, and I'd eaten cream unbeknownst to me. Something contained cream, and I was just driving away a few hours later, and the next thing I know, I was totaling the car and a dozen other cars as well at the same time. As I went bouncing them down the road in this car, I couldn't see a bloody thing. That was quite embarrassing. That was quite a shocking system. But anyway, that was the dairy thing, right? But and sugar, you shouldn't really eat sugar, but I must admit, I sugar is the hardest one. It's almost like a bloody drug, actually. You do crave, your body craves sugar. And I think somebody actually was saying that the spirochetes, they run off of sugar and magnesium. I think that's their main fuel. And so you're quite low on magnesium. There's an argument whether you take magnesium to feed the buggers, or you take magnesium to replenish your low supply of magnesium. I don't, if you don't take magnesium because you feed the buggers, or take magnesium because you've got low magnesium. So there's all these different points of view, and that's the problem with Lyme disease, because nobody's actually really researched into it. They haven't spent money on researching and actually looking into it properly, because basically there's such a political thing around it. The North Americans, they're all done on health insurance, and it's a bit of a what do you say, epidemic out there really. So I mean, so if you don't cover Lyme disease on your insurance, then basically if you've got Lyme disease, it's your stuff. And if they actually recognise Lyme disease as the debilitating illness that it is, then the insurance companies would have to go into things pockets and spend out an awful lot of money on treating it or helping people treat it or helping people survive their lives out of it. And therefore, they got absolutely no interest in allowing that to happen. So they lobby the parliament, they lobby the American government, and basically then so Lyme disease is not recognised. And because America leads the way, and if sort of like European countries start recognizing Lyme disease, Russia seems to recognize it quite as a very, very, thing. They're very, very up on it. The Russians are pretty good on that sort of thing, actually, by the looks of it. They have, hyperbolic chambers and things like that for people suffering from Lyme disease and things like that. So there's no treatment. So basically, you get loads and loads and loads of quacks who are coming up with ideas and things like that. Some of them have probably got some very sensible ideas, but thing. But the problem is I like I just lost 4 weeks of my life. Today is the first time I'm back, and I couldn't have done this yesterday. I could have done this yesterday and about 4 weeks before. Just wasn't here. And subsequently, from having quite a wide circle of friends, a great social life, and doing plenty of things, sports and activities and things like that, my life has gone down to sort of like, I was talking to my partner yesterday on the telephone, and I was discussing. I actually have one friend now, somebody who I would say is a friend. Now he happens to be the guitarist, the last guitarist who was playing with me, and it's only because he's very local that he still puts up with me. because basically half the time I'm not able to do what I'm doing. I've had to sort of like recently over this summer cancel gigs at the last minute because there's just no way I could do them. So this is one of the problems is because you don't know when you're going to be ill. You know, and when you're well, people say, "Oh, you look well. Oh, is it all gone now? Is it all finished?" And you say, "Well, yeah, well, for 5 minutes." And you get sick and tired of it trying to explain it to people. Like, it's boring trying to explain to people that, oh God, like, yes, I'm well now and I feel great and it won't last. In fact, it's cost me my relationship with my sister because my sister sort of has come to the conclusion that my illness is 100% psychosomatic. And she last day she looked at me and said, "You're not going to be ill anymore." Yeah, all right, yeah, fine, yeah. I am not a fucking shirker. Anna, if you see this, I am not a fucking shirker. I'm a fucking hard worker. Right, okay? And thinking that I'm some kind of bloody pathetic thing that just, that is just not, that was never in the script. Not in my script anyway. And so basically, this is a management thing. Like, you have to avoid certain things. Like, and I did this really, really, really innocuous thing. I was in a health food shop, believe it or not, and I used to be sort of like, muscles and blah 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 blah, kickboxing, blah blah blah, what have you, and everything like that, and physical work. I'm a manual labourer. I work manually, and so I was pretty well cut, pretty well fitted, and it's sort of like I noticed sort of like my physique is not what it used to be. So I was looking for some sort of like protein powders. There was this hemp vegan protein powder that I'll buy some of that. That looks nice, and I can get that down my neck. And then I saw this thing called inulin, inulin, which is sort of like uh, it's almost like it's like a prebiotic thing that they. So I thought, oh, that's really good. That if I put that in there, that'd be really good for my digestive system because my digestive system is rubbish. It's not good. It can be upset by the slightest little bit of thing. So I get this in, put it in there, and I start taking this on a daily thing. I mix it up with a smoothie, shake it all up, get it all in there, and get it down my neck, and think, this is going to be doing me good. And after about second day of starting this, I go downhill like faster than I'm on a roller skate, and I can continue eating. About a week and a half into it, Suzanne, sort of like my wife, she says to me, "Are you still doing that smoothie stuff?" And I said, "Yes." Yeah. You put that inulin into it? And I said, "Yeah, I mixed that into it." Like, I said, "And since I've been doing that," I said, "I felt terrible, but my mood and my whole digestive system is absolutely working a treat." And she said, "Look it up online, see if it has an antibacterial properties." And the first thing both of us find, because she's about 70 or 80 miles away from me, and we both look up, and she said, "You better stop taking it," because previous to this, I'd had a cup of tea with her, and we were having a cup of tea together, and on the table was some xylitol, non-sugar sweetener like the type thing. And I thought, "Oh, I fancy something sweet," so I had a spoonful of that in it. That set me off for about a week. That put me on my backside for about a week. That did xylitol, and the the xylitol apparently bacteria have biofilms. They make these biofilms that protect them. Apparently, xylitol dissolves these biofilms and basically leaves the bacteria open to being attacked by your immune system. So basically you get what's called a die-off, a cytokine cascade, like, you know, because it's the actual bacteria don't kill you. It's when they die, they putrefy and rot inside you, and basically that toxins and that poisons you, and that's when you're absolutely buggered. Right, okay, so the so the whole idea is actually to reduce the whole long term aim of somebody with Lyme disease is to reduce the number of bacteria that you've got inside of you carefully, whilst not creating a complete cascade, which actually uh, puts you out on your back. You know, anyway, so this xylitol had that effect. It put me out for a week. Anyway, I was about a week and a half into this thing, actually, it's actually getting worse and worse and more because it comes on like it doesn't go, it comes on like that, really, really nice and gentle, sort of like that, going like that and like that, like that. Before you know it, it's like it's going all over. It's everything going. All you can do is lie in bed. That's all you can do. Crawl to the toilet, lie in bed. Crawl to the toilet, lie in bed. Crawl to the toilet. Yeah, that's all you can do. Absolutely nothing else you can do. There's nothing else that you want to do. Anyway, so by a week and a half into this, I was at that stage with smoothie by the side of the bed. You know, sort of like not really. But I'm lucky. I live in a village where we have four generations of the family living in, you know, things. So I do have some, not my family, but my wife's family. I have a lot of support from them. We have you know, which is good. Socialism works really well within the family unit, not within a state. Don't get me onto that anyway. But anyway, so I cut it out, and it's taken another 2.5 weeks to get back to this stage, which is not 100%, but I'm probably about 60, 70%, which is brilliant. And I'm even considering about doing some work, which in the next couple of days. But the only problem is I can't take on big projects. I can only take on little projects. As I said earlier on, I don't know if anybody, you won't have seen it, but glass blower, you know, making things out of glass, taking a puddle of glass, you turn it into a product people can drink out of, people can put flowers in, people can, you know, do things like that. And I make my money by making things. If I don't make anything, I don't make any money. Problem? Yes, Annette, I'm not work shy. I haven't got the position to be work shy. I have to work things. I do quite a lot. I love my work actually. It's absolutely, I'm very, very fortunate. But so something like inulin is innocuous as inulin. It turns out is incredibly antibiotic in one particular thing. And one of the heavy duty antibiotics I took many years ago, they're using it nowadays as a substitute because it's less damaging on the gut. In fact, it's actually healthier for the gut. So they're using this inulin as an antibiotic agent. They're adding it into this sort of like the medicines and things like that. So there's an idiot me so I can't have that. You know, now I've realised that, and hopefully I've probably killed quite a few of the buggers off actually over the past thing. But the problem is, if you kill too many, you kill yourself. You will. You will kill yourself. You won't survive it. You can actually go into toxic shock and die. And you know, a couple of times during the heavy duty antibiotics stages, I was quite ill. I mean, properly, really, you know, get the priest ill. I'm not Catholic. Yes, okay, but yeah, no, that happened once when I was 21. I got meningitis, and basically the hospital that I was in said I wasn't going to survive the night. So the girl that I was with didn't really know me that much, and she was a Catholic, so she got the priest in. So apparently I launched a jug of water at him. He was at the bed reading my last rites. I didn't die. I survived the night. Tough old bird, really tough old bird. But this is just a random thing. But what I'd like to do is actually get together and actually have live chats with other people with Lyme disease, so we can actually sort of like sit and talk online about our experiences and share things that work for us. Yeah, and we can help each other because there's no other buggers out there going to help us. There are no other buggers going to help us. Okay, so anybody, I'm gonna save this thing like this. I'm gonna go now because it's 20 minutes flies by, doesn't it? Bloody hell, I can talk. Oh, that's another thing. I can talk for England. I think if England had if they had the Olympics talking championship, I would have been in England sort of thing, and I would have got gold every time. Every time. Thank you very much for listening, and you can see how to get hold of me. I have an email. I have things. Just search me online. You can find it all. You can get me on Facebook. No, I don't do Facebook very much at all nowadays because um, well, like Zuckerberg bloody banning people and things like that for the way they think and everything like that. Who the fuck is he to sort of come up with? Excuse my language, it is Anglo-Saxon, but who is he to come up with ideas and say who and whom can't get on his platform? I mean, I know it's a thing, but you're either a platform or you're a publishing house. And if you're a publishing house, you have to take responsibility for the content. And if you take responsibility, and if there's anything hate speech or anything like that, oh, by the way, hate speech. What is hate speech? Who says what is hate speech? I hate speech. I love you. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye bye.